So in the last two videos I uploaded, we went over how Keemstar started a hashtag to get JayStation banned from YouTube, and also how Keemstar went about defending Onision on Twitter. Due to this inconsistency, Nicholas Diorio decided to pressure Keemstar on these points of hypocrisy, and as a result, we actually ended up seeing Keem have quite the meltdown. It all starts when Keemstar tweets out, "You are so incredibly unfunny, it's embarrassing. Every video on Onision forces me to side with Onision due to how shit you are at being informative or entertaining, iNabber." Nicholas Diorio then responds, "JayStation bad, Onision good, got it." Keem then replies, "Nick, you're so mad, it's hilarious." Mart then replies, with a reply as simple as Nick's, "There's a hilarious chance you're the guy that's mad he doesn't agree with you on something." And then after this reply, Mart was impulsively blocked by Keemstar. Nick responded to Keemstar by saying, "Keem, Twitter interview. What's a bigger danger to children? Bad skits from JayStation, or Onision bringing a child into his home and fucking this person as soon as they turn 18? What's the bigger danger to children?" Kleb then responds, "Conveniently leaving out the abuse angle to the JayStation stuff there, Nick." Nick then replies, "The abuse angle?" To which Kleb responds, "JayStation abusing Alexia, and his older XGF, Aiko." Nick then responds, "Are they children? Right. I'm not leaving anything out. Read the question." Mr. Glowworm responds to Kleb's comment on the abuse angle by saying, "Oh yeah, very good point. Remember that JayStation video where he was promoting how awesome it is to abuse your GF? Kleb then responds, "Damn, you right. He never made a video doing it, so I guess it's okay." Nick then replies to him and says, "As far as I know, Jay's denying he's done it. I'm waiting until the court date. On the other hand, in the meantime, I'll be watching the clip where Greg admits to sleeping with that girl." Kavos responded to Nick's question to Keem by saying, "Nick, calling what JayStation does skits is bullshit. Come on, he doesn't sell it as a skit at all, and you know that." GLCVG replies, "Agreed. Skits don't exploit by making money out of dead people." Nicholas Diorio then links the very famous and widely praised video from McJuggernuggets where he fakes killing his father. GLCVG responds to this by saying, "What JayStation made isn't meant for a skit. He profits dead people. That is no skit, and he should be stopped." Nick then replies, "Those videos didn't break TOS, unless I'm missing something." Keemstar responded to Kavos by saying, "Kavos, Nick is mad cause the same kid that trolled Just Destiny trolled Nick and Tommy recently, and I laughed at them for getting triggered. Then Tommy went as far as calling a kid a pedo. Nick is just mad right now, not using his brain at all. Just let him go tinfoil. It's funny." And if you were wondering what Keem was referencing in that tweet, it was the drama between Tommy C and Lieutenant Cobra that I covered about a week ago. If you want to go back and check that, I will have a card in the top right hand corner and a link in the description below. Nicholas responds to Keem by saying, "Or you could simply answer my question, instead of hiding behind a minor like you did with Aiden and Turkey Tom." Keem then responds, "Please send all your question on Xbox Live voice chat, Nick." Laughing my ass off. Nick then replies, "I'd send them over Skype, but you try and rip successful YouTubers' IP addresses to dox them with." Keem then replies with a link to a YouTube video made by Shot From The Point News, talking about Boogie2988, and says, "Watch at 440, and understand how dumb you all really are." Here is the point in the video that Keemstar was referring to.
Search for Boogie's address right here, if you had it. And I do want to put out, like, simply by having Boogie's address is not an act of doxing in itself. Having Boogie's address and spreading around for malicious reason, I think that qualifies as doxing, and that's usually what's listed when they have laws against doxing. Not all states in the United States have laws against doxing. So if you had that, I'm not saying that Sam and Toki are journalists, but if you have the address and you use it in a journalistic manner, like Boogie said, I was swatted in December, okay? And you take his address, you keep it to yourself, you keep it private, and you do the search to contradict that. That's journalism. I mean, I've done the same thing. I had to do that with the JayStation thing yesterday. I have people's address, and I think if I don't spread it maliciously. And of course, it's journalism, because that's what journalists do. That's how you're able to knock on Onision's door. No, just the act of having an address is not doxing in itself. It could be used as long as it's used in a journalistic ethic. I think that's fair to say. As far as combing through, it sounds a little dramatic. It doesn't take very long. I had my guys confirm. I confirmed this because they did the search themselves. So I guess I'm a doxer too, because I have Boogie's address. And it was pretty easy to look up, to be perfectly honest with you.
Nicholas responds to Keem by saying, "Watch out 440 and understand how dumb you all really are. Keemstar's mental gymnastics to convince himself Just Destiny was a 40-year-old pedophile aren't defensible."
I tend to press X to doubt on people.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the guy that I talked to on Drama Alert, Just Destiny, the YouTuber, he just does not sound 35 years old. He really does not. He sounds like a kid.
People told me he was 21, 22.
Yeah. So it's hard to match that voice with that face, but fuck, I guess anything's possible, right?
Augie RFC responds to Keem with a tweet of his that says, "Keemstar doxes people so he can smear them to be pedophiles. Honest question for y'all. Should he be banned?" Laughing my fucking ass off. He admitted on my show he wanted to ruin a fellow YouTuber, 1.6 million subs, with pedo stuff. For fun, basically.
I dox Destiny. Doxing is bad if someone has the intent to harass.
Yeah, but you said you had the intent to harass Just Destiny, so wouldn't that make your dox illegal?
I said that I wanted to harass him, but...
That's the same as that means intent, Keem.
Oh, whatever, I guess I'm guilty.
Keemstar then replies to Augie by saying, "Lol, complete morons. Ha ha ha!" And then he promptly blocks Augie on Twitter. Going back to Kavos' first response to Nicholas Diorio, Nick responds directly to it by saying, "What would you call contacting Mac Miller from the grave?" Laughing my ass off. Was it false advertising? How do you sell something as a skit? McJuggernuggets took verbal abuse for years in his Psycho series. Was he making fun of family abuse? Kavos, 99% of the time of late, I'd agree with you. Hell, I think his videos are trash. I think they are disrespectful. They are disgusting, but I don't think they would be a danger to kids. I certainly don't think content alone is a reason to root for deplatforming. Gnome Army responds to Nick by saying, "He promotes to an 8 to 11-year-old audience. I generally don't agree with censorship and deplatforming, unless it's a real crime like Onision, Lion Maker, Aaron Carter, etc. But his videos should definitely be age restricted." Nick then responds, "Where are those statistics from?" Bald Martin then says, "Yeah, what children? It's grown adults who watch his videos." Nick then replies, "You can't just say an age range arbitrarily, lol." Bald Martin then replies, "You're right. 11-year-olds are probably too old to watch JayStation. When I was 11, I had a much better taste in content." Kavos responded to Nick by saying, "So you think taking a girl, getting your children audience to invest and like her, then trying to convince them all she's dead isn't going to fuck with a little kid emotionally?" BWC responds to Kavos by saying, "Why are you completely forgetting that parents exist?" Keem then replies, "'Cause clearly yours don't love you," to which BWC responds, "Can you be my father then?" Nick responds to Kavos by saying, "That's where we disagree fundamentally. I don't support playing the 'his audience are clearly children' thing. Realistically, that's an assumption. When Goku died in Dragon Ball and was resurrected, I didn't have to go to therapy. What you are seeing here exists in other forms of media." Kavos then responds, "Yeah, but Goku is clearly fiction, whereas JayStation made a fucking fake memorial and pretended to cry his eyes out, and the kids take it as fact, as I experienced in my comment section." Zombie Saza responds to Kavos by saying, "Why are folk conflating anime, which is a made-up situation and fiction, with the real-life event of someone going to a fake memorial and pretending to cry where children are believing it to be real?" Nick then responds, "Because it's a skit, and not a real-life event. No children are going to have blankets and cocoa in their guidance counselor's office over Alexia not actually being dead." Zombie Saza then responds, "Yes, but if children believe it to be real, then it messes with their head. We understand it to be fake, but children do not. They don't have the same grasp on reality or the same understanding that we do." Kavos then replies to Nick mentioning that it's a skit by saying, "Nick, You are way too smart to compare JayStation's videos to anime. Keemstar then replies to Kavos by saying, Kavos! Look at the points Nick is making. He's comparing a cartoon to a vlogger. Ha 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 ha. He's lost it. 100% tinfoil. Look, Nick is mad. Let him spurg out. No need to bully him more after that 15-year-old destroyed him. Nick then says, I personally think the responsibility falls on the parent to parent and monitor their children's content. I'd say every child who believed this situation now have a proper example of how the internet isn't always factual. Whether you agree or not, Keem handled this horribly. Tommy C then replies to Nick by saying, it really does not matter if his audience is 100% 3-year-olds. This save the children shit is going to be used against everyone. All you have to do is cry kids, and you can take down just about anyone if it's worded right. This rabbit hole is deep, and a perfect weapon for the Wall Street Journal. Keem then responds to Tommy by saying, since you are not acting tinfoil at this moment like Nick, I'll give you a real response. Actually, a question. If JayStation is breaking TOS, should he be removed from the platform? Nick replies to Keem by saying, yes, that unfortunately wasn't the argument you made. You said the videos he made were bad. He should be punished for ban evading, as should you, and his abuse of the copyright system. Unfortunately, you made a bad video and created a hate mob over the children. Keem then replies, ha 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 ha, the classic Nick. Moving the field goal move, you tried to do the same thing with Nerd City, and he made you all look so stupid. Nick, you are not smart. Whoever is telling you is lying to you. Well, I guess Kavos is a liar. Nick responds to Keem by saying, you haven't responded to anything I've thoughtfully taken time out of my day to write you. My argument is consistent from the very beginning. That would be why your ratios have been busted. Nick then links a tweet that he made a couple days earlier that said, I don't think JayStation is innocent. I don't think he's a good guy. I just don't think I hate these videos is a precedent for deplatforming that I'd like to see. If making a hashtag could delete anyone and everyone, it's detrimental. Keem replies to this by saying, look Nick, Tommy C is defending me with your doxing claim 100%. Tommy C 1, Nick 0. Nerd City 1, Nick 0. 15-year-old trolled you 1, Nick 0. Do you look like the Penguin? And Kavos is the Dark Knight. Kavos 1, Nick 0. Nick then replies, you lost it when you asked me to take down my video in my DMs. Wink. You're a degenerate. I want no relationship with you. And Nerd City will lose when my video is released. Showing a DM that he got from Keemstar that says, also, you should work on strengthening relationships with me by removing the bullshit video you made on me filled with lies. Nick then responds, laughing my ass off. I thought my factual video didn't bother you. Look, if you want to speculate on why your Team Trees video got a not suitable for families, I'm happy to do that. Look, I've got some big league information here, and I'd like to not involve the bench warmers who would probably fuck this kind of shit up and leak it. I'm trying to get some work done. That's why I shoot you a message. Keem replied to this tweet by saying, that's a fucking lie, as you hit up my DMs non-stop, as you are on video saying how much you love me and my content multiple times. Nick, you are very mad, and I know it, and we are enjoying the dance, boy. Man in Black responds to Keem by saying, why do you keep refusing to answer the valid questions about deplatforming that Nick brought when you were so against it when Leafy and Grade tried to get you deplatformed? Cancel culture for me, and not for thee. Nick responds to Keem by saying, did I stutter? Go to bed, man, lol. I DM you because we share information. I gave you shit on Alex. You gave me some insider shit on Cole Kerrigan. He then shows a video of the DMs he had with Keem. The first one shown is from Keem on October 29, 2019, and he says, if I had a bad score, I obviously would have something to complain about. Nick then responds, oh Keem, there is something to complain about. It's understandable, but the public will riot. The fact that the only singular YouTuber likely getting the best ads and paid the best with a 1000 plus score is Will Smith. And what Nick is referring to here is the P-score channel rating stuff that we discovered back during this time. I do have a video on it that you can click in the top right hand corner. Continuing on, Keem replies to Nick by saying, yeah, but everyone loves Will Smith. You need to find people that actually hate that has a good score, like Lily Singh. Nick then responds, don't doubt the animosity towards Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, and Will Smith on the platform. He then scrolls past the DMs we already read earlier, and then they just continue talking about P-score. Now, nobody directly replied to that tweet from Nick, so it was a dead end, but Keem ended up responding to his own tweet, which started a new thread. He says, "Furthermore, I called you out for jacking Mr. Anti-Bully, which is Mr. Medicare on YouTube, style. Trying to talk like him, trying to sound like him. You quickly changed your tone and we started to hear that little boy voice. It was so funny to watch you with all your insecurities being exposed. W." And what Keem is referring to here is a live stream that Nicholas Diorio did a day prior to this conversation, where he talked about Keemstar's hashtag #StopJayStation. During that stream, Keemstar was in the chat, and apparently he noticed a change in Nick's tone once he saw Keemstar in the chat. Nick responds to this tweet by saying, "Keem, I made it very clear I wasn't reading the chat, because my audio was fucked for 4 minutes straight. I didn't change my tone at all. If I sounded like Jim, I'll take that as a compliment," laughing my ass off. Keem then replies, "It was so clear to anyone watching the stream you were reading the chat at the moment I called you out. Your voice completely changed, and of course you would take it as a compliment because he's your idol. That's why you were imitating him, but he thinks you're a moron too." Nick then says, "That's fantastic. Also, not completely factual. We can go in circles all night, Keem. Would you like to address the questions yet? What's more dangerous to children? JayStation's videos or Onision bringing a minor into his home and banging her when she turns 18? I've been waiting." About 30 minutes later, he responds to his own tweet by saying, "Alright, I assume this is where we leave it. I would say if he's done things that do violate TOS, call him out and issue strikes fairly. The only thing this glorified targeted harassment campaign is going to do is make YouTube like Twitch. Right now, it looks like the clout chasing opportunity you created has more articles looking at YouTube than we have had in a while, and the fucking Lizard Squad raised from the dead. You handled this poorly, but I get the other side of the argument. We can't just deplatform people." I-Man in Black responds to Nick by saying, "Onision is a creep who should be on a watch list. He's a predator. JayStation is a fool who should be ignored. That's how I see it." Nick then replies, "Hell, I'd even argue that they should age restrict a bunch of specific videos JayStation has uploaded." Keem replies to Nick by saying, "What is the age of consent in the state Onision lives in? Did his parents approve of this? Were there any laws broken?" Nick then replies, "I'm not rich in Onision lore." He then quotes an article talking about Onision that says, "Kai was the legal guardian of Sarah when she was about 14 years old. According to Blair's video, approximately 4 days after Sarah turned 18, she began an intimate relationship with both Onision and Kai." Nick follows this up by saying, "Not illegal, but it sure makes me sick to my stomach, especially listening to young girls he interacts with on Discord. Legality isn't really relevant anyways, since we are comparing this gross thing to a YouTube video." Plate Zero responds to Nick by saying, "Nick, just a question. How long did it take you to get this information?" Nick then replies, 3 seconds. I don't claim to be an Onision expert. I've been told he's more or less confessed to this recently, but I can't verify that." Plate Zero then responds to Nick by saying, "So the big bad drama king couldn't get this information that took you 30 seconds to get because he thought it was going to damage the YouTube community? Good to know. Thank you, Nick." Showing a tweet that Chris made to Keemstar from February 19th, 2019, where he asked Keemstar to talk about the YouTube wake up situation, which involved a failed YouTuber called Matt Watson. Keem responded to him by saying, "No, that's what Scarce did before the adpocalypse. He blew the story up and everyone suffered because of it. I'm not doing that." Nick replies by saying, "How is Scarce blowing up a story the start of an adpocalypse, and Keemstar creating a viral hashtag to deplatform a creator a virtuous crusade?" Bald Martin responds to Nick's tweets by saying, "What are you talking about? Greg has done illegal shit several times. Just research the whole destroying wetlands fiasco, or maybe watch Chris Hansen interviews." Nick then responds, "He asked about this specific situation." Bald Martin then replies, "He also used improper grammar to specifically ask you if any laws were broken." Keemstar responds to Nick by saying, "No, we are not comparing. You are. Clearly this is messed up, but I do want to hear Onision's take on this before I decide. But using one person that needs to be removed to defend JayStation stay on the platform is a strawman argument, and you're dumb. Tommy C would agree." Nick then replies, "Total fair play to get both sides of the story. I'm reacting to your sporadic Onision tweets that were clearly uneducated. I find it funny you describe them as a hate mob, when you yourself created a hate mob yesterday. It comes off really hypocritical. Sloth responds to Nick by saying, I love how before he claimed that Onision is not guilty of everything, and now that he is getting flack, it's clearly this is messed up. You cannot have a straw man argument with Keemstar, since he changes the argument to avoid hate. Nick replies to this by saying, for half the conversation, we were slinging shit back and forth. I'm just happy he's having a dialogue with me, hahaha. Keem replies to Nick by saying, yeah, well, I guess we will mark this up to another case where Nick was not smart enough to comprehend my methods. Nick responds, oh good, another non-answer. Your U2s has hair, both of them. Good night. Keem then replies, Nick destroyed again. So salty and outsmarted, he's going to bed mad thinking about Keemstar toys. Now I know why you said that you love me and you love my content. I just a greater man in every aspect. Nick then replies, Keem, you have over 1 million followers and my tweets are ratioing you. Ricky Berwick reacts to this whole ordeal by tweeting Nicholas Diorio, leave Keemstar alone or else I will make your name go viral, showing that he is threatening to stuff Oreos in between his ass cheeks in the name of Nicholas Diorio. Nick responds to this by saying, please no. And then after Keemstar doesn't respond to Nick triumphantly posts this tweet with the caption, Keemstar.
My fellow Americans, as your President and Commander-in-Chief, it is with a heavy heart that I'm informing you that we have made a strategic decision to surrender.
And then about 12 hours later, Tommy C wakes up and says, holy shit, I just woke up and got Keemstar in my mentions more than I have had Keem stans telling me I suck. Poor Tommy missed the entire conversation and is just blown up in the mentions. So that is about it for that little kerfuffle. I know it referenced a shit ton of stuff that not a lot of you are probably caught up on, so this video is more satisfactory to the people who look into all the drama in depth and remember it all. But if you guys are crazy enough to want to catch up with all the stuff that was referenced in this video, I will leave a playlist in the description below that I made filled with the videos that add context to all the arguments being had within this video. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to slap a like on it and subscribe to see more content like this. Follow me on Twitter to keep up to date with everything going on over there. And thank you so much to my channel members for supporting the channel, particularly Josh Pescator, who recently donated at the $30 per month tier. Josh Pescator is actually a YouTuber who used to work for Keemstar on a lot of the stories they did over at Drama Alert in 2017, 2018, and early 2019, but during that year he actually resigned and moved on to create his own drama series, and I've gotta say, it is much better than Drama Alert in my opinion, and covers a lot of things that other news channels don't, so I do recommend checking the channel out. Anyways, that's all I have to say. I will see you in another video.